What's going on, guys? It's Lance Corey here at Thrashin Supply, and today I got my buddy Luis Fuentes right next to me, and right behind us his 2005 Dyna Lowrider. What's going on, man? You bought this bike how long ago? About 6 months to a year?
About a year ago.
Just so you guys know, Luis works at Thrashin Supply. He is a warehouse associate. He was a customer of ours. He rolled in. I don't think you had this bike when you first started.
No, I didn't.
What was your first bike?
My first bike was an 06 FXDCi Super Glide.
Over time, then you had your eyes set on something like this.
Yeah.
What made you choose this 2005? Is it an FXDL?
FXDLi, so it is EFI. I chose this bike because I wanted a 39 mil, but fuel injected.
If I remember correctly, this thing was kind of grandpa'd out. Did it have spoke wheels on it?
It had spoked wheels. It had some like weird looking bars rolled all the way back.
So he had a grandpa'd out 2005 FXDLi. Here we are today, checking it out and looking at what he's done to it and how clean he has made this bike. Luis, let's start from the front of the bike. Tell us what kind of wheels you put on this bike and what you went to do it with the brakes and everything you got going on.
Starting off with the rims, I had picked up the rims, offer up local. They were blonde mags. What I wanted to do was get them chromed, so I got them chromed at Diamond Lane Cycles. For the rotors, I went with the Arlen S rotors, paired them up with the Bagger Brembos. This originally came with a single disc, so I wanted that dual disc look.
Not only does it look better on the bike, but it also works twice as good.
100%, and then paired up with the Bagger Brembos, night and day difference.
What I really like about your front end, it really has that traditional Harley look. Super high end, but still looks like something that would have came off a showroom floor. You went with a really good black and chrome theme. Tell us a little bit about these forks that you did and your tree setup, what risers you got.
With the forks, we went with the DX forks, the adjustable suspension, as you can see right here. The trees, they were originally raw aluminum. I powder coated them black, as well with the eyebrow for the headlight. For the risers, I went with the 6.5 with the 1-inch spacer. So they're sitting about 7.5 inches.
So you get the 7.5 pullback, technically, Thrashin risers. What set of bars are these and why did you go with these bars?
So originally I had went with the Thrashin OG mid-bends, but then I had switched them up for the Thrashin aggressive mid-bend. Just starting to get into doing wheelies and stuff like that. I thought, I wanted something that's a little straight, Fits me because coming off of moto, riding motocross, I kind of like that straight feeling.
I noticed you got some different sets of levers on this.
So I chose the Brembo RCS 19 master cylinder. Since I was upgrading, my calipers, I wanted something that was gonna be nice on braking point, For my clutch, I have an impacted clutch, ball end style. The lines were made from a Barnett.
I love this tin set. It is a black tin set, has really good accents with the silver paint, and I really like how the engine has a lot of black and chrome. But let's talk about the inside of the engine. I'm really proud of you. You reached out to me a couple of months ago and you were like, dude, I want to build this thing. We need to put some cams in it. Luis did all of this work himself. He did the cam chest himself. I'm really stoked on you. I'm stoked when you came into work that day and you showed me all the photos. Why don't you tell everybody what set of cams you put in, what you did with your oiling system?
I got the whole cam chest kit from Feuling. I went with the 525 hydraulic tensioner upgrade. The spring-loaded, tensioners on the old model Dynas, they're not that well. So I kind of upgraded to the hydraulic tensioners so that way it can have more longevity in the cam chest. And I went with the 525 because my engine is stock 88. So I wanted something that was not too overboard. Wanted that nice linear power on the bottom end and top end.
One thing that I noticed while you were talking about your bike, you went all ARP on this thing. I mean, you got ARP on the rocker box covers, on the cam cover, on the lifter blocks. I mean, you did a lot of ARP stuff on this thing.
So most of the bike throughout has ARPs, but there's still a little few things I gotta put some ARPs on. You
got a nice polished AR system on it. What baffle did you go with?
With the baffle, I went with the 1961 baffle in there.
525 cam chest. You got the Arlen S air filter, the Thrashin AR system. Just got it tuned. How's this bike running?
It feels reliable now. Before the tune, it didn't feel so good. The guys over at Jiffy tuned it really well where I like it. And
what kind of numbers are you putting down on this thing?
80 horsepower about.
All right. I mean, anywhere you get close to kind of the cubic inch, that's good.
I mean, I wasn't looking for nothing overboard. I wanted a nice conservative tune that just will help me, extra little, brab for when I try to, mess around with you guys, in the vlogs.
What kind of seat is this? Tell us a little bit about the seat, why you chose this.
So I chose the Saddleman tuck and roll. The tuck and roll is my favorite seat. Has cushion on it. I'm not a big fan of the diamond stitch because it's a little, you know, a little rough, but the tuck and roll definitely feels really nice. And then I got the step-up seat because it keeps you locked in.
I noticed you got a set of shocks on this thing. Tell us about these shocks.
So these are the Fox shocks, 13.5, I believe. Really love these shocks. They really suit my riding style, and I have them at the stiffest compression on it right now, and I really love it.
Looks like you got a set of bags. I know that you ride this thing to work a lot.
So I went with the Thrashin Essential saddlebags with the hard mount bracket to clean it up. I store in there Alexan tire pumps, sweaters, hats.
It looks like you went with a low profile and a lay down. What's going on with that rear end?
So I went with the low profile tail light, you know, to clean up the look, smoked, and then I went with the lay down plate because I don't like the, you know, that stock wonky plate. So I went with the lay down to clean up the look, and I really like that setup like that.
The left side always gets thought of late, right? We're always on the A side of the bike.
Yeah.
We're looking at the exhaust, but you've done a lot of stuff over here on the B side. Tell us a little bit about what foot controls you got going on over here.
So I have the Thrashin shifter arm with the shifter peg matched up with the P54s and P54 slims in the rear. I really like these foot pegs because they feel like really solid. A good base for my foot. The shifter tip helps with shifting as well. And the stock one hurts my toe. This one's nice and round, so it gets the shifting really nice.
I noticed you got the Thrashin adjustable linkage.
I really love the Thrashin adjustable linkage with the shift arm because I can always adjust the length of the shift arm whenever I want. So say if it's a little too high for me, I can just loosen the nuts and just adjust it from there, and it will just move to wherever you want. It's, you know, really convenient.
Dude, while we're down here, I realized you got a little bit different engine motor mount.
I went with that engine mount because I'm starting to get into wheelies and stuff like that, like learning. What I noticed before, I would come down like a little, you know, hard on my wheelies sometimes. It would like dent my pipe on the header. So yeah. What this does,
because your pipe was hitting your frame.
Hitting my frame, so I didn't want that. So I went with this motor mount. So that way this rises up the engine a little bit. So that way when you come down, it's a little solid, you know, little base. The reason why I did this is so that way I can be aggressive on it.
So I see you upgraded your chain drive kit.
I went with the 24 tooth front sprocket, 52 rear with the DID chain.
Dang, looks real clean. You've had it probably less than a year. You put a little over 2,000 miles on it.
Honestly, I love everything about this bike. This bike right here was something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I've never built up a bike like this. This is my first time building a bike ever, so this bike really has a lot of space in my heart. So
you can tell, dude, when you look at this thing and you see how well you maintain it every day when you bring it to work, you can tell that you love it. You can tell that your passion's in this thing. Thank you so much for showing everybody, showing me, talking to me about it. I do appreciate it. And let's go see you ride this thing.
All right, for sure.